Amidst the snow-capped peaks of Colorado, nestled in the charming town of Estes Park, stood the Stanley Hotel, a grand Victorian edifice steeped in history and whispered tales of the paranormal. Its allure was irresistible to Sarah, a young writer with a penchant for the uncanny, who embarked on a virtual tour, eager to delve into the hotel's haunted legacy. Room 217, the epicenter of spectral activity, held a particular fascination for Sarah. She imagined the room's past, the countless souls who had passed through its doors, leaving behind imprints of their lives, their joys, and perhaps their lingering regrets. As she navigated the virtual tour, Sarah felt a strange sensation, a prickling at her fingertips, as if the room was reaching out to her, beckoning her into its depths. She found herself drawn deeper, her curiosity overriding any apprehension. The room appeared before her, its walls adorned with antique wallpaper, its furnishings reminiscent of a bygone era. A sense of unease crept over her, a feeling that she was not alone. The air crackled with an unseen presence, a palpable energy that sent shivers down her spine. Suddenly, a figure materialized before her, a young woman with flowing auburn hair and a melancholic gaze. She wore a dress from another time, her presence exuding a sense of sorrow and loss. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest, a mix of fear and fascination. The woman spoke, her voice a soft whisper that echoed in Sarah's mind. She spoke of her life in the hotel, of love and laughter, of tragedy and loss. She spoke of her attachment to the room, her inability to move on. Sarah listened, captivated by the woman's tale. She felt a connection to this spectral being, a sense of empathy for her pain. As the woman's story unfolded, Sarah realized that the room was not just a physical space, but a repository of memories, a vessel for the lingering emotions of those who had once inhabited it. The woman's voice faded, leaving Sarah alone in the virtual room. She felt a profound sadness, a sense of the fragility of life and the enduring power of love and loss. The room, once a source of fear, now held a touch of melancholy, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all beings, both living and departed. As Sarah emerged from the virtual tour, the image of the young woman lingered in her mind. She carried with her a newfound understanding of the Stanley Hotel's haunting legacy, not as a place of fear, but as a testament to the enduring power of human emotions, their ability to transcend the boundaries of time and reality. Sarah shivered, captivated by the virtual tour guide's words. Room 217 had left her shaken, but the mention of a sealed room, room 873, sent a jolt of icy curiosity through her. The tour guide continued, his voice a disembodied entity in her headphones. The virtual scene shifted, no longer the ornate confines of 217. Sarah found herself staring at a blank stretch of hallway, the opulent wallpaper replaced by a stark, white void. Where room 873 should have been, there was nothing. Just a chilling absence. According to some accounts, the guide narrated, the hotel staff, desperate to contain whatever transpired in room 873, bricked it up and covered it with wallpaper, pretending it never existed. Sarah frowned. On the screen, the hallway remained stubbornly devoid of room 873. Yet, a prickling sensation crawled up her arms, a feeling of being watched. Suddenly, a flicker of movement in the corner of her vision caught her eye. A handprint, faint and translucent, materialized on the blank wall. A small handprint, the size of a child's. It shimmered for a moment, then faded, leaving a cold emptiness in its wake. Sarah gasped, a surge of adrenaline coursing through her veins. This wasn't part of the tour. This felt real, The guide's voice droned on in her headphones, oblivious to the chilling apparition she'd just witnessed. Panic threatened to consume her, but Sarah forced herself to stay focused. She leaned closer to the screen, peering into the void where room 873 should be. A faint sound reached her ears, a soft whimper, almost inaudible, like a child lost and afraid. Was it her imagination, a glitch in the virtual tour? Or was she experiencing something more, something that transcended the digital world and brushed against the veil of the unknown? Just then, a notification popped up on her screen. Technical difficulties. Virtual tour interrupted. The scene dissolved into static. Sarah ripped off her headphones, her heart pounding. The room felt different now, the silence heavy with unseen presences. The line between the virtual and the real, so clear moments ago, seemed to blur. Had she glimpsed a fragment of a tragedy trapped within the Stanley Hotel's walls? A fragment the hotel desperately tried to erase? The experience left her shaken but strangely exhilarated. The Stanley Hotel was no longer just a collection of rooms on a screen. It was a place brimming with stories, both real and imagined, a gateway to something beyond, something that defied a simple explanation. Sarah knew she wouldn't rest until she delved deeper, until she unraveled the truth behind the sealed room and the spectral child's haunting presence. The virtual tour may have ended, but for Sarah, the real investigation had just begun. The virtual tour had ended abruptly, leaving Sarah with a lingering taste of the uncanny. Sleep offered no escape. The image of the ghostly handprint on the non-existent room 873 flickered in her mind, a constant reminder of the unsettling encounter. Driven by a strange compulsion, Sarah delved deeper into the Stanley Hotel's history. Days blurred into nights as she scoured online forums, historical archives, and even contacted former employees. Slowly, a pattern emerged. Whispers of a fourth floor that didn't exist on official blueprints, accessed only through a hidden passageway. Legend spoke of Flora Stanley, the hotel founder's wife, known for her flamboyant taste and a penchant for grand parties. Supposedly, the fourth floor was her personal domain, a haven for lavish soirees and clandestine encounters. However, after Flora's sudden demise, the floor vanished from official records, its existence shrouded in mystery. Armed with a newfound resolve, Sarah booked a real visit to the Stanley Hotel. The grand lobby, with its ornate chandeliers and sweeping staircase, seemed familiar, a tangible version of the virtual tour. Ignoring the skepticism of the staff, she embarked on a personal investigation, searching for any anomaly that might reveal a hidden passage. One evening, as the last guests retired, Sarah found herself near the grand ballroom. A strange chill danced on the air, emanating from a seemingly unassuming alcove behind a heavy tapestry. Driven by an unseen force, she pushed aside the fabric and gasped. There, partially concealed, was a narrow doorway. A faint, ethereal light spilled from within, casting an eerie glow on the aged wood. Hesitantly, Sarah pushed open the door, a wave of stale air and a sense of forgotten grandeur washing over her. She stepped into a hallway unlike any other in the hotel. The air crackled with a strange energy, and the opulent Victorian decor was even more extravagant than the lower floors. The silence was broken only by the soft strains of music, a waltz from a bygone era, echoing faintly down the corridor. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a woman in a flowing gown, her features obscured by a veil. There was a startling resemblance to the portraits of Flora Stanley that Sarah had seen. The woman spoke, her voice a melancholic whisper, "Welcome, dear guest." Have you come to join the party?" Sarah was speechless. Was this Flora, a figment of her imagination, or something altogether different? The music grew louder, a haunting melody pulling Sarah deeper into the hallway. The spectral figures of couples waltzed by, their faces obscured in a hazy blur. Overwhelmed, Sarah stumbled back, bumping into a hidden door. It creaked open, revealing a glimpse of a darkened room. Inside, a single figure sat at a vanity, her back to Sarah. An unsettling familiarity sent shivers down Sarah's spine. "Flora?" Sarah called out, her voice barely a whisper. The figure turned slowly, revealing the face of the woman who had appeared in room 217, the young woman with auburn hair and melancholic eyes. But this time, her expression was one of anguish and despair. "This is not your time," the young woman choked out, her voice filled with sorrow. "Leave this place. Don't let her trap you." The figure vanished, and with it, the music. The entire fourth floor seemed to shimmer and fade, dissolving into the familiar walls of the hallway near the ballroom. Sarah found herself alone, the hidden passage sealed shut. Was it all a dream? A hallucination fueled by her obsession? Or had she glimpsed a hidden reality, a tragic love story trapped within the walls of the Stanley Hotel? The answer remained elusive, but Sarah knew one thing for sure. The Stanley Hotel was far more than just a grand old building. It was a labyrinth of memories where the past bled into the present, and the lines between reality and fantasy blurred beyond recognition. The mystery remained unsolved, but the experience left an indelible mark on Sarah, forever tethering her to the enigmatic spirit of the Stanley Hotel.